You ready?
Sure.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to episode 18 of Chatting with Chuck. We're so excited to be here with you. We're going to get started the way we do every week with a word from God's Word from Pastor Chuck, and then we're going to talk about what's going on behind us.
Genesis 15, verse 6 says about Abraham, then he believed in the Lord, and God reckoned it to him as righteousness. Fascinating verse because it says that at least 3 times in the New Testament that Abraham believed God, and that was counted to God as right. It counted to him as righteousness. And it was his faith that moved him to trust and move forward in God, to leave everything and just boldly go where God had called him to go. And that's what we want to do in these difficult times is sometimes it means putting aside what we know and what we've experienced because it's all changing. But God calls us to trust him and move forward boldly, as Paul says in Philippians, forgetting what lies behind and pressing on to what lies ahead.
So, speaking of exciting journeys, Pastor, your mic is cutting out. Could you make sure it's seated very well? And we also have an audio sync issue, which I think I fixed that. So we switched cameras again temporarily.
How's that? Hopefully that'll take care of it.
Okay, so we'll see. I'll monitor the chat. So, okay, great adventures. So we have behind us a green screen. We're really excited about this. You know, we keep getting new toys to play with. This one is courtesy of Todd Helming, who's a photographer. And we were looking for a green screen for use in Vacation Bible School, and we wanted to do some fun stuff with it, and so we asked if we could borrow a green screen because we had heard he had one for photo shoots and whatnot, and he was very gracious to bring it over for us. And we had a little test stream the other day to kind of work out some technology for VBS, and now the green screen is just sitting here. And so I thought, you know what? We should use the green screen and go on. In fact, you know what we should do? We should boldly go, because that's what you talked about in the devotion. So we're going to boldly go into the world where I'm the only one running tech. But here we go. We're going to take off into the great unknown, I think, if this works. Oh, wait, we got to fix. Oh, wait, no, that's not it.
I had to change close
There it is.
so that this would work.
Whoa! Whoa! So here we are. We're boldly going off to a new destination, and we are so excited about this journey. Now, I also know, though, Pastor, that you like churchy kind of stuff. So, you know, we have our churchy version of boldly going. So here's the churchy version where we're flying through the outer space of Jesus and the cross. But the real surprise, because we just got to we're kind of coming up on the destination. And so everybody got together for our 18th birthday and bought you a gift. So that's super exciting. I know you've been wanting this for a long time. So here you go. We got a nice boat, and you can just kind of sit back in your deck chair there. And
I need my coffee now. There you go. This is perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, so anyway, we're really excited about this because we're going to get to use this technology for Vacation Bible School. If you didn't see the video we did a couple of days ago on Tuesday, would really encourage you to check that out and kind of get a sense for what VBS is going to be like. We're going to get to go around to lots of different stations, and it's going to be a really fun experience. So really looking forward to that. If you haven't signed up yet, registration is open on our website, so please head there and check that out and get registered, because we want to provide all the supplies you need for VBS, and we can't do that if we don't know you're participating. So go sign up for VBS. There's a lot of details on our website, but when you sign up, that means you're going to get a packet of information and supplies and everything you need to do live stream VBS in your home or wherever you decide to do that. So please go sign up for that. All right, so let's talk about some stuff that's coming up. We've been in a Bible class on Nehemiah in our adult Sunday school, which happens at 10 a.m. each Sunday morning, and that's been happening on Zoom, but we got some new developments that are coming, not this Sunday, so not in 2 days, but the following weekend, which is, July 26th, I think? Yes, July 26th, this will start. So, new topic and new guidelines. So, why don't you tell us about that, Pastor?
Well, first of all, I had to change so that I was not washed out in this green screen. If I'd have known, I'd put on my captain's hat and get prepared. I didn't know I was going to take everybody for a ride this morning on my yacht. Anyway, I have Thurston getting Howell getting us. Anyway, this on the 25th, we're going to do just one Sunday. We're going to spend some time attempting to answer some of the questions you may have about all that's going on in the world today and in our country. There's so much happening with.
Oh, you're cutting out again.
Son of a gun to bite.
You got to really seat it in there. I don't know. Jiggle the wire.
Jiggle the wire. Here, let me try it like this too. Maybe hook this up. Anyway, we are going to. Maybe I'll talk louder too. We're going to talk about things happening in our world and our culture. We're going to talk about some of the effects of the coronavirus and how we're responding. Maybe some of the racial tension that's happening in our world today. Maybe we'll look at some of the issues evolving around all the politics happening. Or maybe the second coming of Christ and what's he have to say about all these events. I don't know. Depends on what you ask. But I'll answer all the easy questions, and all the hard ones I will hand over to Vic or Jason. But hopefully you have some questions that you are considering at this time. You give us a chance to talk about them. But even better, some of you will be able to be right here to discuss them. We are going to have a soft opening for Bible class as well as continue to Zoom it if you're not comfortable attending. But some of you have been asking if you can come for that since you can come for worship. So yes, we're going to meet together for that Bible class. And then right after that, we're going to go into 1 Timothy the following week after that and look at what Paul has to say to Timothy. But next week, ask your questions. Send them in so we just don't have to stare at each other. How's that?
Your mic's not working at all. We've downgraded.
Man, is it the wind from the yacht?
We need someone to go run up to the back room and get Sue's microphone. Why don't we? I'll be right back. You guys wait here.
Well, you can't leave right now.
You just entertain him. I'll be right back with Sue's microphone.
Well, considering you can't hear me, it's going to be hard to entertain you. But I hope in this yacht setting my toupee doesn't fly off. I can hear commotion going on. So anyway, make sure that you do ask your questions, and we'll meet you right there. We'll look at what Scripture has to say, because that will be more important than what I have to say, even though you can't hear me evidently right now. So I'll be interested to see what it says in the chat. By the way, if you do come and in person, then you will have to be checked when you walk into the door, as always. You have sign your name and get your temperature taken. And then you will come down here where you will sign your name again. If you've been to worship, you'll just come on down and you'll have to sign in again, but you won't have to have your temperature retaken and all. How's that?
Well, some people are saying the mic is better when you're not bumping it with your book. I don't know.
What am I, hit myself
Should we just try this one? Why don't we try this one and see if this
I'm not
works?
hitting anything with the book.
Well, now you're not. Okay. Can you guys hear him? Sound is fine. When Pastor Chuck is holding the... Okay, so just keep holding it.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's
needs
your question.
It
Why
needs
do
a
I
little
have
love
mic
and
troubles?
comfort, you know?
Yeah.
You gotta speak
I'd like
kind
to talk
words
into
to
it.
Yeah. All right, so did you cover all the stuff about the Bible study?
I think so. And
I think
more.
so. And more. Did you
And
talk about
more.
1 Timothy?
Yes.
Sweet. Okay, well, good. So all the details about participating in that Bible study will be up on our reopening page, so you know what the guidelines are. But I think, as Pastor said, kind of same stuff that we use in worship, but there'll be a little added sign-in process for down here, so we know who's in the room should we need to do that. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about our new worship series that's starting this week called Heroes of Faith. But before we get to that, we showed this video last week, and we're going to go ahead and show it again this week. One of the things we've wanted to do is change the visuals between the two styles of worship. So traditional worship and contemporary worship look a little different. You've seen that in the sermon that we do where we're at the table and chair instead of in the pulpit. And now we're going to have a little bumper video this week that we're going to be showing before the sermon. So here's what that looks like. All right, so Heroes of Faith, we're going to look at people from the Scriptures, and we sometimes hold these people up as heroes, but we actually have a lot in common with them, both good and bad. So, Pastor, what are we going to look at in this new series?
Well, in this new series, we're going to look at some of these wonderful saints of God who have gone before us, but we're going to look at some of their struggles that they had and how God brought them through it. We're going to look at a little bit of maybe their faults or failures or struggles, because it encourages us as we go through times of difficulties or struggles. And we can look at how they came through, how God led them through, and how we can follow some of those same principles. I love Hebrews 11, the great heroes of the faith. But after it lists all these heroes, chapter 12 goes right into this whole account of therefore. Let us look at them, and we're surrounded by so great a cloud of witnesses. And so we're going to look at why they're in chapter 11, maybe, of Hebrews. For example, this weekend, we'll talk about Abraham. And Abraham had some doubts along the way, but his doubts weren't just in God. Some of his doubts were in himself, and if he was able to do what God was calling him to do. And we can relate to that because we often have our own doubts about God, doubts about church, doubts about the Bible, doubts about ourselves. And how did God bring him through that? And how does God bring us through? And what's he call us to do now? So hopefully you'll join us for that and see what God has to say.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this series and what we might find and how we might be inspired by what those characters did, how we might connect with them and their broken and sinfulness, and yet God using them. So really looking forward to that series. Hope you'll join us for that. If you, again, you want to be in person, check our reopening page, but we'll be streaming all of those Sunday morning services, so you can join us that way as well. We're going to get to your questions in a little bit, so if you have questions, now is the time to get them in the chat so that we're ready when the time comes. So you can put the questions there, and they can be about whatever you want, and we're going to try to tackle those live right now. Well, not right now, in a few minutes, but get those in the chat. But then just a couple of words about our parking lot worship service. We've been doing parking lot services for 4 weeks. We started in mid-June, and we went through July 8th. Was the last one, so we did 4 services. We said we're going to be back in August and September, so Pastor, what is the news with parking lot worship?
Well, we're going to do our next one on August 5th, Wednesday night, August 5th, 7 o'clock. We've not picked a theme for it yet, so maybe if you have a theme you'd like to look at, you can ask us. But we're looking forward to getting back into it, but we have something really special planned for September 2nd. So we're going to do one in August, and then not do another one until September, but it will be September 2nd, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you mark on your calendar September 2nd, 7 o'clock as well. Be a great time.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. We had so much fun gathering for worship outside, and it'll be fun to kind of get back together and do that again. So if you had heard about those and you missed them, you didn't get to participate, put these 2 dates on the calendar, August 5th and September 2nd at 7 p.m. We would love to have you out in the playground, preschool playground parking lot, and we'll gather for worship. We get to sit outside our cars in lawn chairs, and we get to participate without masks since we're 12 feet apart and sitting outside. But we'll have a registration up for that soon on our website, so so you can sign up. The sign up just lets us know who's coming so we can make sure you get all the final details, including bulletins and what to bring and all that kind of stuff. So watch for that coming out soon. It'll also be in the e-news probably next week in the e-news for Friday. So look forward to that. All right, worship this weekend is kind of our normal routine, but then the first Sunday in August, Pastor, what's happening in worship?
Well, first Sunday in August, we will share the Lord's Supper. So plan accordingly. If you're going to be at home, make sure you have what you need. That's 2 weeks away, but have what you need to celebrate the Lord's Supper at home. And those that are here, you saw how it worked last time. We take a lot of precautions, and it worked really smoothly last time. We worked out a couple little kinks here and there, but it's going to go really, really well, really smooth. Look forward to sharing that sacrament together.
All righty. So exciting stuff. Lots going on around here in kind of helping people gather and get back into the building. Just want to give a shout out to our COVID task force. They've been doing a lot of great work in getting us to open. There's always a balance between how quickly you move and when people are ready and what safety protocols to have in place. And we've just been so grateful for that team in organizing that and figuring out how is it that we can get together safely and gather for worship, gather for in-person Bible study. Really excited about that coming up starting in a week and a half and just doing great work. So really thankful for them. They're in the unenviable position sometimes of having to say no a lot.
They've worked really hard.
Oh, yeah. And Pastor's been in several of those meetings, so he knows firsthand. And it's a good group of people taking care of us.
Yeah, we give them the challenge, and they research and see what we can do. We've had some really tough funerals lately, and they've really just paved the way and got a team together and helped us pull those things off. They're working really hard. We're grateful for them. But we didn't talk about this, but also we need to make sure they know about. We're going to have a congregational meeting. We've got to have one soon, probably next 2 or 3 weeks. Keep an eye out for us. It's going to be a real important one because we're going to need a quorum at it as we continue the next steps in voting on issuing a call to Vicar Jason to be an associate pastor. So keep an eye out. That's got to happen pretty soon.
Yeah, so we'll get all that information out in the e-news. We're going to questions. I don't see any in the chat yet, so if you're going to get them in, you got to do it now. Anything, you mentioned the funeral for Luke Simonelli. Is there anything to share with, any thoughts on that? Or?
Well, that was a hard one. Just a great young man. And obviously well loved. We had somewhere over 150 people here, which means we had to social distance, so we could only have so many in the sanctuary. You had to have some in the lobby. We had overflow in the gym. We had them all spread everywhere. And again, the COVID task force did an awesome job, and people were very understanding. It went really as well as could be imagined, and for a great family in a difficult time, they made it a little easier for us.
All right. Yeah, I thought it went really smoothly as well. And it was such a great outpouring of love, people showing up, and now we know how to do overflow seating in the gym. So that's exciting. Yeah, we got some other hurdles to clear to talk to the gym back and forth, but at least the first step is down. We can get video to the gym, and they can participate there.
And now we've got some weddings coming up, and so we'll see. They've got their work cut out for them.
Yes.
And I don't mean the marriage couple. I mean the COVID task force.
Yeah. All right, so let's get to your questions. Karen wants to know what city are we sailing in? Like, what city are we sailing by right now?
Well, it's real important that at times I'm able to be a little incognito, and I don't always want people to know where I am so I can get some work done. And by the way, if we do issue a call to Vicar Jason to be a pastor, we'll have to take into account giving him a raise so that he can afford a nice boat like mine. But I was wondering that same thing. Actually, I think, is that not Buffalo?
I don't know. It might be Buffalo. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure where it came from or what city that is. We got it from a stock photo service that we have access to. But I don't know where that city is. Okay, so Karen also wants to know if you could ride the yacht anywhere, where would each of you go?
Oh. Well, I've been trying to get my way up to Alaska, so maybe that's where I would go. I'd like to go to to maybe Bali, Indonesia area.
I would love to go to the Caribbean. Just sail around, sit out on the back deck there and tan and maybe hop in the ocean for a little bit with my little rope so I don't get left behind. And
We had a member a while back before the Lord took him home, and so he had this bucket list trip to go to Tahiti, and he did. I get that. I could do that. I could go to Tahiti.
that would be nice. Alex wants to know who's steering the boat. And I'm
I-
confused because I thought Alex was steering, so
Yeah,
now I'm
yeah.
getting worried.
No, we know that Kathy is really the one who steers the boat. So it's probably Kathy up there.
Okay, so Pastor, they want us to repeat what you said about the Bible study information because people missed it since that was in our mic cutting out phase. So why don't we? I don't know if they need all of it, but let's recap what's happening next week. So this week we're finishing Nehemiah. Next week on July 26th, the topic is
Cultural questions and answers. So you'll present to me, hopefully you'll email them ahead of time, and we'll talk about some of the cultural issues happening in our society and world today and look at what God has to say, because you don't really care what I say, but what God has to say. It may be, are these signs of the second coming? Is Christ's return imminent? Or whatever you want to talk about. We're going to spend 1 week doing that. Hopefully, again, you'll give me your questions ahead of time. And then after that, which will be August, the first Sunday in August, we will begin looking at 1 Timothy. But again, we're going to be meeting. We have a chance to do in-person Sunday school, not this weekend, but next weekend, down here in the lower level of my yacht. And you want to give us how to check in for that again?
So yeah, the room will be set up for social distancing. So you're going to want to bring your own pen and a hard surface or something to write on, so that you have that. If you want to take notes, your own paper, all that kind of stuff. We're still not passing things out, as I understand it, but there will be one clipboard down here where we sign in, or one space where we sign in. So if you come to worship, you'll go through the health screening for the early service. You'll go to worship, and then you'll come down and you'll just sign the sign-in list downstairs. If you come just for Sunday school first, and then you're staying for worship, you'll do the health screening upstairs like you normally would for worship, and then you'll come downstairs and also sign the book, the pad down here, so that we know who was in the Bible study room, just so that if something happens and we need to get in touch, we have a good handle on who was in which spaces at which times. And so that'll be the process for that. And if you're coming to the Bible study and then staying for worship, since you've already done your screening, you can just head right upstairs to worship after the Bible study. So yeah, that's kind of the procedures. We're going to see how it goes that first week, and we will still have it on Zoom. The plan is to keep the same link information so that if you've bookmarked the link for the adult classes, you'll still be able to use that same link on Sunday morning to get you into the Bible study class. So look forward to that. Information coming out in the e-news in more detail next week with the link and everything, all that stuff. But yeah, that's the overall, the short form of what's happening with Bible study. Okay, that's all I see. No more questions. Anything for us that you want to add as final thoughts?
Nope, no, I don't really think so. So
right.
Get your questions ahead of time.
Oh yeah, it's super helpful.
Yes.
So email those questions to Pastor Chuck, and then he'll be prepared to answer those at that Bible study. All right, friends. Well, it is so good to spend time with you on our yacht here. We got to get back to church though, so let's kick it into high gear, and we're going to head back to church now because we still have some other work to do for the day. But thank you for joining us. It's always fun to spend Friday lunch with you, and we're looking forward to seeing you in worship, whether that's on the other end of our cameras as we come into your living rooms for online worship, or whether that's in the building. We are just so excited to worship together as His people. We love you.
God
Bye-bye.
bless you. Love you.